Our next case is going to be Mr. Ferrell Guidry. Mr. Guidry, would you please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
My name is Ferrell Guidry.
And your DOC number?
Sir,
Your DOC number?
94162.
Thank you very much. Mr. Guidry, let me explain our process to you. We're going to do a pardon interview with you. We're going to question you a little bit, and then at that time, we'll allow anyone who wishes to speak on your behalf or in opposition. Today, we have your niece, Ms. Jennifer Rodriguez, who wishes to speak on your behalf. Once we have that hearing, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board before we vote. Do you understand our process?
Sir,
This is the matter of Ferrell Guidry, DOC number 94162, date of birth August 13th of 1953. He's a second-class offender. He is currently serving a life sentence on the charge of second-degree murder, having been sentenced on April the 24th of 1981, as well as simple escape, attempted simple escape, having been sentenced on March the 4th of 1982. Mr. Guidry, is all of that information accurate?
yes, sir.
Mr. Guidry, your case has been assigned to Ms. Bonnie Jackson. She will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Guidry. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Ma'am, I cannot understand what you're saying.
I said good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. Are you having trouble hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes I do have a problem hearing, but my hearing goes in and out.
Okay. Well, I'll try to speak up, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
How old are you, Mr. Guidry?
I'm 69 years old.
And how long have you been incarcerated on these charges?
Since I've been locked-
Years. How many
42.
years? 42 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were 29 when you committed the crime, is that correct? The murder, you had the escape attempt later, but you were 27 when you committed the crime?
I was 27.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to
I
help
committed a
me,
crime.
you're gonna have to help me and the board understand what happened, why you went to the bridal shop and why you were planning to kill somebody. Tell us about that.
Okay, ma'am. The wife of the owner of the bridal shop supposedly wanted her husband dead. She wanted her husband killed. And I don't know if it was a boyfriend or a friend of hers came to me and offered me money. And I said I could do it. So and then a couple of weeks later.
Well, let's stop right there. Before we get to what actually happened, why would you agree to kill somebody for money?
He offered me some money. I wasn't doing what I was doing bad at the time. And I just agreed to do it.
Well, how much money were you supposed to get for taking somebody's life?
$20,000, ma'am.
And so you put a value on a human being's life at $20,000?
I wasn't thinking at the time, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, you were, because you made some plans and preparations and you know, thought about the offer, you agreed to the offer. So what would make you willing to kill somebody? A lot of people do, you know, have financial difficulties. What do you think made you agree to kill a person for money?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know why I did it. Till this day, I regret doing what I did. And
Let's talk about then what, because you didn't actually kill the owner, you
No,
killed deputy who happened to be sitting in the owner's office. Is that correct?
He was sitting in the office, yes, ma'am, where the owner of the place was supposed to be.
Okay, well, let's walk us through what happened when you went to the bridal shop.
I was told to go to the place that night, and he was gonna be in his office doing some paperwork. And I went in and I walked to the office and I shot the man.
Did the man have on a uniform?
Ma'am,
Did the man have on a uniform?
I don't remember, ma'am. I cannot tell you. I didn't even know the man's name that I killed until after I was locked up.
Well, what about the clerk, the female that worked at the bridal shop? You shot her as well, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am, she scared me.
She scared you.
Yes, ma'am.
How was she? Go ahead.
I was supposed, that place was supposed to be empty the night I went in it. It wasn't supposed to be nobody in there except the owner of the place.
All right.
And this person came out of nowhere running at me. I didn't know who it was.
But you could tell it was a female, right?
No, ma'am,
Why not, Mr. Guidry?
because I just shot at her. I just shot, ma'am. I'm not denying it. I just shot at her.
Maybe you shot because you didn't want anybody to identify you as having killed the person in the owner's office.
Say that again, ma'am. I didn't.
You had already killed someone when you shot this lady, right? Who did you shoot first?
I shot the woman first.
And even after you shot her, you proceeded to go and kill somebody else?
I walked in the place. I looked for the man. I couldn't find the man. I heard a sound behind me. And when I turned, I seen somebody in the office and I shot.
Well, you know, Mr. Guidry, I don't know that I've ever talked to anybody who's been so matter of fact about shooting two people. So after you shot both people, what did you do next?
What did I do after I left the place and I went to a place in the Rose, a restaurant, and that's where I was arrested at.
Well, how were they able to find you so quickly?
I don't know, ma'am. I do not know.
Did you ever get the $20,000?
No, ma'am.
So you just shot two people and killed one for nothing.
I shot two people.
The lady that worked in the bridal shop? Or you shot at her, if you, the lady that worked in the bridal shop, and then the deputy that you say you thought was the owner.
All right, ma'am.
And you got absolutely nothing out of doing that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, had you attempted to kill him, the owner, 3 weeks prior?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that.
The same person wanted me to, it started back then. Before, what, 2-3 months before? The person that hired me got the gun and the knife and everything. And he kept bugging me about it, His name is in the paperwork.
I understand that, but you're the one who did the act.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did you do 3 weeks prior to try to kill the owner?
Ma'am, I didn't understand what you said.
How did you try to kill the owner the first time?
First time, I cut him with a knife. I didn't try to kill him. I cut him. I cut him in the hand with a knife.
Why? Because you were hired to kill him, so why would you just be cutting him in the hand with a knife?
Maybe I could have subdued him, man. I don't know, ma'am. But the man left out of got away from him.
So tell us about the attempted escape.
That happened after I was up here, a few months after I was up here.
Uh-huh.
I was going after the man that had hired it. That's why I jumped the fence when I did.
And when you were gonna go after him to do what?
Ma'am,
Why were you gonna go after the man who hired you?
because he lied to me. I gave a 16-page confession to the sheriff's office. And I gave the man's name, and they had an investigation. And they lied in the investigation.
They who?
The owner of the place, his wife, and the man that hired me.
What did the owner of the place lie about?
Say again, ma'am?
What did the owner of the place lie about?
He said I was a homosexual.
So, Mr. Guidry, let's move on. You've been incarcerated for over 40 years. You work on the road crew, is that correct? What is your job? How long have you worked on the road crew?
Ma'am,
How long have you worked on the road crew?
20 years, ma'am, since 2003.
And what is your job?
Right now, I'm a clerk.
Okay? What does that involve?
What that involves is I'm the one that, whenever a part's needed for machinery or something that breaks down, I'm the one that finds it in the catalogs and in the parts manuals because of my background as a mechanic.
Okay. You've had 32 write-ups, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
The last one is in 2002. What was that for?
Disobedience, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, what happened?
I had 4 days extra duty.
No. What was the disobedience?
Ma'am, I don't remember that long ago. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember.
Fine, fine. Tell me, I see that you took substance abuse, living imbalance 1 and 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on drugs? Were you a user of drugs and alcohol before you committed these crimes?
No, ma'am, but I was asked by classification to take it and to put it in my jacket.
I mean, so you never had a problem, you just took it for the credit?
No, ma'am. The only medication I've taken is the medication I have to take for my epilepsy.
No. I said, you didn't take living imbalance because you needed it, you took it so that you could get some credit for the class, right?
The classification recommended it to me.
Well, normally they recommend it when there's evidence that a person or an indication that a person has a substance abuse problem. Because there are a lot of people who actually have substance abuse problems who are waiting to get into these programs. So I'm having a hard time understanding why classification would tell you to take substance abuse class when you say you never had a substance abuse problem.
If you want, ma'am, if you want to call smoking a substance abuse problem, I used to smoke once upon a time.
I don't want to call that a substance abuse problem. You also took anger management, cage your rage.
Yes, ma'am.
Why'd you take that?
For the same, it was recommended for me to take it at the same time, both of them.
Did you think you had an anger problem?
Sometimes I do get mad. Yes, ma'am.
Everybody gets mad, but that's not the same thing as having an anger problem. An anger problem is when you get mad and you can't control your temper and you can't control how you respond to the situation.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
did you have an anger problem?
All right. I don't have a problem like that, ma'am.
Okay.
I can control my anger.
Okay, well, what about victim awareness? Did you take victim awareness?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. Why'd you take
It was
that?
recommended to me. It was recommended to me,
You didn't think you needed to take it?
ma'am.
You didn't think you needed to take victim awareness?
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad I took it because I learned some stuff when I took it.
Well, good. Let me hear some stuff you learned.
I learned that my actions that night affected the family of my victim, his friends, community, my family, my friends.
Okay.
And before that, ma'am,
Before that, what?
before that, I had never thought about that.
You never thought about when you killed
With-
somebody.
With
Yeah.
my actions,
You never thought about before you took this class, it never occurred to you that when you kill somebody, you affect a lot of people's lives. That never occurred to you?
at the time, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Other than work, what do you do in the prison? Other than your job, what other things do you do at the prison?
Well, when I went to Road 11, or do you know what at my present job?
No, I said besides work, what other activities have you
Oh,
been?
my activities. I don't, I work in a hobby shop and I don't do that much in the prison now.
Okay. So you've never done any kind of, what's the SOC club?
Oh, that was back in the 90s, 80s, 90s.
What was that?
I took some law classes and everything else. I took some classes.
Okay. Okay. If you were to be successful, Mr. Guidry, what's your plan? If you were to be successful today at getting a recommendation for a commutation, what would be your plan if you got out?
Well, I plan to go back home if the district attorney doesn't oppose me, and I want to live with my sister, and work at OR Farms, which is a small animal farm, taking care of some. Other than that, I just want to. I don't have any other plans, ma'am.
Well, you do have opposition You have the opposition from the West Feliciana DA, the LaFouche DA. You have opposition from the victim's daughter. So you've got a lot of opposition.
Yes, ma'am.
Warren, what can you tell us about Mr. Guidry?
Yes, ma'am. I can tell you that, the write-up for the roof board that you asked him about, it was not getting up for count. And, no, he went to the hobby shop and was supposed to come in for sundown count. And he got the roof board. And for narcotic and alcohol use on his admission summary, he, indicated that he didn't use it, neither one of them. So I don't know why the social service worker would put him in substance abuse, because he said on his admission summary that he didn't have any problem with alcohol and drugs.
All right, thank you, Mr. Marvell.
Thank you. Any other questions? Now we'll hear from your niece, Miss Jennifer Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can. If you would please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your uncle.
Hi, I am Jennifer Rodriguez. I'm 38. I only know my uncle in prison. I have learned a lot from him, knowing him through phone conversations and meeting him at the prison for visitations and through the rodeos and things. And I feel like he has grown a lot in the last 20 something years of my adult life, that I'm able to get to know him better, and has become a much better person, much more understanding and compassionate. And I feel like he's truly remorseful for the things he's done. And I hope that that he can continue to better himself and become a good citizen in society.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rodriguez. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Guidry, is there anything you'd like to say before the panel votes?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Mr. Guidry, I had hoped that your interview today would convince me to take a chance on you. You're 69 years old, you've been in prison for 42 years. But I don't think you've learned a lot in the last 42 years. You don't seem to grasp the seriousness of taking somebody's life. You don't seem to, I don't know that you're ready. You know, you've taken programs, but you only took them because you say classification suggested you take them, and you didn't feel any need for the classes, and obviously you didn't get anything out of the classes. And so I just don't think you have a good disciplinary record. Your work in the road crew is good. You got a good report from your supervisor. I just don't think you've done enough to work on yourself and to figure out, you know, what would make you be willing to kill somebody just for money, somebody you didn't even know, somebody you didn't even recognize enough to know that the person you shot wasn't the intended victim. I just don't think you're ready. I don't think you have a transition plan in place. And I just think you need some more work. I hope today is denied.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Rutherford?
Mr. Chairman, my vote is the same for the same reason.
Mr. Freeman?
I concur.
Mr. Guidry, I think Judge Jackson wrapped up all of our beliefs and feelings today. I mean, your interview did not go very well at all. I think you really do need to take some more programs and sort of look introspectively, look inside and see what you really did. I didn't get the impression that you even have feelings about what you did. And that's scary to me. So you have 4 unanimous votes to deny your recommendation for a pardon. So you got some work to do. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir.